now in your news at 11, January 3rd snowstorm is breaking records for snowfall in the Port City. We have team coverage tonight of the winter storm heading across the Cape Fear. And we have a reporter live in Leland as the snow continues to fall in Brunswick County. And further south, some of the Palmetto State are trying to make the best of this winter storm. Thanks for joining us tonight for your news at 11. I'm Amanda Fitzpatrick. You know, it's definitely dicey out there on those roads all across our area. So here's what we know about which are closing down with this winter weather. Right now, we do know that MLK Jr. Parkway is closed. Wilmington police say they responded to 3 accidents. That's just within an hour. One lane on the Isabel Holmes Bridge is also closed, and I-140 is still closed in New Hanover County. Now, New Hanover County Dispatch says that the Snows Cuts Bridge is icy, but they say as of right now it is still open. Snow is coming down in Brunswick County, and that's where we find Andrew James, who's been there all afternoon and all evening, joining us live with the latest. Andrew, what are the conditions like right now there?
Well, Amanda, we've seen the snow let up just a little bit here, but it is still very cold and still very much snowing here just outside of Leland, and it's sticking so much. There's so much snow on the ground. I'll let you guys take a look right here. I mean, just look how much grabbing one handful of snow. And it's all powdery as well, but beneath that snow is a thick layer of ice for sure. Now, earlier this evening, we were out in Charlotte looking at businesses and how they're handling preparing for the winter weather. A lot of them salting their walkways and places like that to make sure the wintry mix does not create any more ice and things like that. With that said, roadways very much iced over and very much dangerous at this point in the evening. We do not advise folks to be on the roads, but we did speak with some people earlier who had very good reasons to be out on the roads. One man we talked to came over here to the Circle K gas station in Leland to make sure his daughter would be able to make it home safe.
My daughter worked here, so I wanted to make sure she got home safe, and I seen that the other stores were closed, so I figured I'd come up here, make sure she got home all right. But the roads are pretty bad. I'm surprised how much snow we got so far.
Now, you would think with all this wind and ice, it would be a recipe for a disaster in terms of power outages and things like that. But we are fortunate to report, at least from the last time we looked over at Brunswick Electric's outage map, only around 100 people were in the dark down in Southport. Right now, no outages to report in other parts of Brunswick County. For now, we're live just outside of Leland. Andrew James, WWAY News.
All right, thank you, Andrew. Road conditions have slowly gotten worse on the highway as emergency vehicles and plows have started trying to clear the roads. Highway 74 had a good layer of snow on it, making the driving conditions very harsh. Many cars were pulled over to the side of the road until emergency vehicles or plows would go by to clear the way. Some cars were stopped and emergency vehicles went to go help the drivers who were stuck. And while roads are closing for safety reasons, many people in the area are still out and about. They're trying to enjoy the winter weather. WWY's Kirsten Gutierrez is live in downtown Wilmington. That's where she found a few. Kirsten, how's it going?
Amanda, I'm here on Water Street in front of the Cape Fear River, and as you can see, the snow and wind is picking up. It's pelting me in the face. I can barely open my eyes, and although I've been out here all day, we've seen a lot of accumulation. Let's take a look at. So far, we've gotten more than an inch of snow. The National Weather Service is saying about 1.5 inches right now, but that was about 30-40 minutes ago, so we're not sure quite on how much we've gotten. But let's take a look over here. The federal courthouse, the steps of the federal courthouse are completely covered in snow, and there's also palm trees covered in snow, and that's something you don't normally see. And while I've been out here all day, some people are just now coming out here to enjoy the snow. And the snow has been falling heavily for the past couple of hours now, which makes perfect for snowball fighting weather. Dozens of people were out playing in the snow on Front Street having a ball, including Coleman Allen, who took his pup on a walk. Allen's lived in Wilmington for the past 10 years and is excited to actually have winter weather, but he's being cautious and not driving until things clear up.
It's a lot of fun. Cool chance to get out and take some pictures, play with my dog, and just a new side of Wilmington. Don't get to see it this often like this. I'm definitely not driving these people only because I've seen them drive without the snow. So I'm going to take my safe chances of staying inside, hanging out, enjoying it till it passes.
Aside from Allen and snowball fighters, families were also out checking out what looks to be a winter wonderland, and many are having so much fun they even hit me with snowball, although I'm hoping that was not on purpose. Again, if you are going out tonight, please be safe, and if you're out in the snow playing, bundle up, have gloves, hats, and please be warm. As you can see, it is pretty brutal out here. And for all the road closures and school delays and closures, you can head to our website, wwaytv3.com, for all and any updates. For now, live in downtown Wilmington, Kirsten Gutierrez, WWAY News. Amanda, back to you in that warm studio. I'm very jealous.
It is so warm in here. I did 14 years out in the snow, girl. I'm back in the studio now. All right, the weather is also disrupting air travel, with all flights out of Wilmington International canceled tonight. American's last flight departed a little after 11 today, and the next arriving flight is scheduled for tomorrow. That will be at around 10 a.m. Delta's last flight, though, it left just after 2:30. ILM says that they have been in constant communication with the National Weather Service, staying updated. The airport deputy director says their goal is to keep the airport open. The airport urges you to continue checking airline websites for updates on flights and cancellations. They also say those flying out tomorrow should arrive at least 2 hours earlier than usual because TSA is having some mechanical repairs done. Some school districts in the area have already canceled classes. Pay close attention. Brunswick, New Hanover, Pender, Columbus, and Bladen County schools, as well as Whiteville City schools, are all closed for students and staff tomorrow. And if you want to see a full list of all the businesses, schools, and many organizations, they've been emailing us, they've been calling us because they wanted people to know that they would be closed tomorrow or even closing early in some cases. We put them all online. Go to wwaytv3.com, and we also have delays and such at the top of the screen. Now, we stopped by Wrightsville Beach this afternoon, and at the time it was just freezing rain. And despite that, dozens of surfers took to the water to catch some waves. Yeah, is it still hang five, Scott? If it's icy out there, surfers were too busy in the water. We did catch up with locals on the beach who say this is not unusual.
We did see the guys out there in the wetsuits. We saw, could not believe that they were out there.
I was going to say, what's your reaction? Because I'm freezing and I'm dressed like this.
The water temperatures are warmer. I've been out here a lot of times during the weather over the last 25 years, and these guys, they don't give up. They enjoy the weather and whatever, enjoy the surfing no matter what the weather.
And that's hang 10. Okay. So Mansfield and his wife are teachers, so they'll have today and they'll have tomorrow off. He says he will use the snow days to clean up the house, put away all the decorations, and also get ready for the new year. And we'll keep you updated with the latest on what's going on with the winter weather across the Cape Fear tonight. We'll check in with meteorologist Scott Dean and Helen Holton next. And puppy meets snow meets snowboard. Adorable video of people in the Carolinas keeping spirits high as the snow and the temperatures fall.
And you're looking at a live picture from on top of our roof as we look down across the port city, and it is a winter wonderland out there. As you just saw on Kirsten's live shot, the snow is still falling and the temperatures are dropping. What will it be like tomorrow? We'll let you know coming up.
Now, here's Chief Meteorologist Scott Dean with your Storm Track 3 forecast.
Well, here is a rare sight you don't see very often in the port city, and that is a snow-covered port city right now. As you can see along the riverfront here, all that white showing up with the snow that it continues to fall across the area. The visibilities have been reduced as that snow has been coming down at a pretty good clip at times, and a very impressive live shot that we saw from our reporters, including Andrew and Kirsten, where she was down at the riverfront. You saw that snow blowing sideways with some of that wind, but the snow is starting to taper off. The back edge of the steady snow is now pushing through the Cape Fear region right now, right through Bald Head Island, up through eastern Brunswick County and into western Pender County, but areas to the east of that are still experiencing some good snow right now, from Wilmington over towards Ogden, up towards Topsail Beach, Surf City, over towards Maple Hill and Burgaw, all picking up some moderate snow. And you can see it kind of tapers off a little bit. One last band is now pushing through Elizabethtown, Whiteville, over towards Tabor City, but this is much lighter snow. And from here on out, west of this one band, we can expect the accumulation amounts to be awfully light. All right, look at the storm reports of ice and snow all the way down to the Florida Peninsula. Very rare to see it this far south, and you can see all the snow reports up through Georgia, South Carolina, and even a couple reports. This is early in the game, but we've gotten some reports of about 2.5 inches around the Leland area, and also around 2 inches over towards around northwest. And the National Weather Service recently put out a report at the Wilmington Airport of 2 inches, and that makes this a historic snowfall for the day of January 3rd. The old record was 1.5 inches set way back in 2002. So let's set up the weather headlines. The historic winter storm is winding down tonight, but still very slick roads out there in the morning and more bitter cold as we go through the next few days. So there's not going to be a whole lot of melting, especially during the nighttime hours. Temperature of 27 degrees with a northwest wind at 18 miles an hour. Barometric pressure way down there at 2973 with that strong area low pressure off the coast, making it feel like 14 out there, and temperatures are in the upper 20s, but the wind chills are even colder than that. We're looking at teens out there with 14, the coldest reading over towards the Wilmington Airport. And you can see over the last 12 hours, there's the back edge of the snow now pushing through the Grand Strand area into the western part of our region, with the major storm now pushing up into the Outer Banks, where winter storm warnings are in effect and even rare blizzard warnings in effect for Tidewater, Virginia. So as we look at our pinpoint futurecast model, it looks like the rest of the storm is going to be fairly light once we get rid of this one band that's moving out, and we'll wake up to sunshine tomorrow. It'll be a bright day with all that snow on the ground, so you'll need the sunglasses, but you'll need your coat as well. Temperatures are going to be cold in the 30s. We warm back up into, or excuse me, cool back down into the teens Friday morning, and then highs only in the 30s once again on Friday afternoon. And then it looks like we drop even colder possibly for Saturday. So before all is said and done, we're talking about a 2 to 4 inch snowfall across southeast North Carolina. And as we look at those wind chills, look at the wind chills drop overnight tonight, down tomorrow morning into the teens, up into the 20s tomorrow afternoon, and then plummeting down into the single digits as we go into Friday morning, where we'll likely have wind chill advisories issued once again. So the snow winding down from east to west, with temperatures dropping a few more degrees, and it looks like tomorrow will be a bright and sunny day, but it will be a cold and brisk day out there with those wind chills much colder than the actual readings. And then look, as we go through the next several days, readings in the teens, so that we're going to have problems with black ice over the next several days, but finally we climb out of the freezer by the time we get into Monday. So there's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel.
All right, a bleak little bit of light. very bleak.
We have to get through the next several days, that's for sure.
All right, thank you, Scott. Well, snow is something you typically see around here, but that's what we're seeing in downtown Wilmington. You normally don't see it. And that's where we also find WWY Storm Track 3 meteorologist, who joins us now with more. Hi, Helen Holt.
Boy, take a look at this behind me. Absolutely fresh powder coming down from the sky. Not too often we get to say, hey, we're having snow here in southeastern North Carolina, but that's exactly what we're seeing here in Water Street. Pan up and look at the light. You can see it is coming heavy down, but on top of it, it's kind of going sideways, and that's because of a strong northerly wind. So those wind chills, brutal. You definitely want to hang inside, but if you want to come out and check out the snow, you definitely have a nice little sight. Pretty much everywhere is seeing that snow, or has seen it so far. National Weather Service said about 1.5 inches, but that was probably about an hour ago, and we've been seeing it continuing to dump around here. So we're talking about close to at least 2 inches around here, if not a little bit more, and some areas picking up a little bit more than that. But have in mind, we saw freezing rain and sleet earlier, so underneath this snow is we're seeing ice, so you're going to want to be extra careful on the roads. There's definitely going to be some slippery spots. Hopefully you're in for the night tonight. You definitely don't want to be out in this, but tomorrow morning, if you have to be out and about, please be super careful. We'll be keeping you guys updated in the morning, but you know, you got to have a little fun. Like I said, southeastern North Carolina doesn't see snow a lot, so I'm going to bust out here a snow angel. I'm going to at least try to attempt to do one at least. All right, let's see if I can get up here. How does that look, guys? I think that I give that a 10 out of 10. What do you say? I think that's pretty good. Don't get to do that a lot around here. Love it. Even for a beach girl, I like to see the snow around here. But again, be super careful on the roads if you have to be out and about, especially the next couple of days. We're going to turn our attention over to black ice in the days to come. Live in Wilmington, Helen Holt. Back to you, Amanda, in that warm studio.
All right. You know, an angel has made a snow angel. All right, meteorologist Helen Holt. Sports is next on WWY News at 11. Some changes coming to the UNCW women's basketball schedule will get you up to speed and preview the matchup against Northeastern. And before we head to break, a look at some pictures. Oh, some very cold pictures that you guys were nice enough to send in, including a backyard in Rocky Point. And you know, when you send these pictures in, we appreciate we're able to put them on for everyone to see. So continue to send us in pictures, even like this picture right here by Cody Stacy. As you can see, it looks like a white Christmas. It's not Christmas, right, Scott? We didn't get a white Christmas, but we're getting a little bit late on that. And Andrew James here. Who should you trust to provide important but fun snowstorm coverage? Pick says it all. WWAY. All right, guys, we'll see you after the break.